Chase Elliott wins in overtime at Kansas.
Let's go! Yeah! That's my man!
While Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace think about what could have been. These are our top stories on this edition of Fast Talk.
Fast Talk is presented by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco Fuel helps your car reach peak performance. Now, here's the host of Fast Talk, Doug Rice.
Kansas does not disappoint the NASCAR crowd. Welcome to this edition of Fast Talk, a crowded show going on here today. Myself, Kyle Petty, Alexis Erickson, Brad Gilley joining us a little bit later on in the show. The general manager of Las Vegas Motor Speedway will be racing very shortly, Patrick Lindsay. So a lot to break down and a great deal to look forward to. Well, you heard in the tease there that Chase Elliott secured his spot in NASCAR's Final 8 with a bit of a surprising win at Kansas, and somewhere in the backwoods of Georgia, you heard this. I just wonder how many people ran underground thinking it's a
tornado,
air raid siren.
That's it.
Anyway, That's what they do at the Dawsonville Pool Hall whenever Chase Elliott wins. I got to think yesterday, Alexis, that the person responsible who has to hook up the battery for the siren to go off might have been asleep at the switch because they're not thinking with 2 laps to go, hey, we're going to need this.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably got the plastic covering still on it.
He came out of nowhere. I mean, he obviously ran really well all day. He qualified up front for the first time in a while, which gave him the opportunity to run in, the top 5, top 10 pretty much all day. I don't know where he lined up 10th, I think I heard on that final restart, and was able, because he had 4 fresh tires, and took advantage of all the shenanigans that were going on up front to kind of, sneak one in there. And I will say I was surprised. I was in my living room like, oh my goodness, where did he come from? Chase Elliott's going to win this thing.
Brad Gilley, did you have an OMG moment? There's Chase Elliott at the end of the race.
Oh, it was awesome. And you kind of wondered a little bit before that, when everyone had made their final pit stop, if it was going to make a difference. And then we get that big caution and red flag, and that changes everything. The fun part is, as we were watching all of the Toyota teammates racing each other hard for the win, if you look in the back, you just see Chase Elliott carving his way through the field. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, they're about the final last half a lap or whatever, that light blue car shows up in the picture, and here we go. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Kyle, as we like to say these days, I don't like to say it, but I will anyway, this was not on brand for Chase Elliott.
No.
This is not how he wins races.
No, it's not. And I was it's good for the sport, and I was excited. But I was excited for Allen because, he has been on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
Bad calls. What are you doing? Why aren't you giving Chase the car he needs? I hit the desk. I'm sorry, Alex. and all this stuff. And then he makes the call to come and get the tires. He makes the call to put him in that position. And then the rest of the race has to play out. Listen, if you don't catch a caution, if you don't catch a couple of things, if you don't get that an extra restart, that's the way it always plays out. Sometimes it looks. Remember when Denny Hamlin came from seemingly 36 to win in the last 3 laps at Martinsville that time because everybody ran into each other? It was a genius call, but it could have easily flipped the other way, and we would be sitting here and fielding questions on why Allen's making these crazy calls.
Well, and there's so many things that happen, too, that you kind of point to, okay, well, if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have been able to happen. And one of them is Denny Hamlin's pit crew letting him down in a big way when he comes in from the lead, gets a 2-tire stop, and comes out 7th. That's tough.
And that all goes back to a penalty from a race earlier.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Where his pit crew is too short, and they have to bring in new people, and all of a sudden a pit crew that's usually on the money is not. Yeah. Let's hear from race winner Chase Elliott.
The C's just kind of kept parting for me, and had a good run off of 2 on the white, and saw the 11 looked like he was fixing to ship it off into 3, and I was just hoping that those guys would get choked up enough so I could at least get 3 wide bottom and have a chance. Glad it worked out like it did. It was crazy.
So Chase Elliott wins, second win of the year, as we documented, and moves on to the round of 8. Kyle Petty, I've got to think that the executives in the hierarchy of NASCAR are somewhere secretly in the back room going,
yeah, just like we planned.
Yeah.
But you know what? And what it does It does a lot. You've got the most popular driver, as we talk about all the time. So now he's making it to the round of 8. And you also have a Chevy that ran pretty good during the day. He scored good stage points. He was up there. He was not. It's not like he came from 25th and had a tire advantage at the end of the race and snuck in there and stole one. Yeah, he kind of stole it, but at the same time, he was in position if anything did happen, and that's all you can ask for. But yeah, you've got Ford you've got Hendrick, Gibbs, and now Penske in that chase moving or in the hunt moving to the round of 8, and that's good for the sport too.
Well, as happy as Chevrolet was to get the victory, Toyota had the opportunity to get that done yesterday, and unfortunately, circumstances just didn't let it happen.
Yeah,
they dominated that race yesterday.
Yeah, but listen, it's like if you're Toyota, you're laughing today because you're like, yeah, we still got them.
Right.
You know what I mean? We still got them kind of where we want them. You know what I mean? We didn't get the trophy yesterday, but we've got the laps, we've got points, we've got so many things. They did so much right as an organization or as a group of cars.
Brad, we were discussing on the show last week that all of us felt, and I still think it could happen, that there might not even be a Chevy in the Final Four. This goes a long way to making that not come true.
It helps. And again, look, at least you have one of them for sure advancing to the round of 8, and I think you'll have a couple more as well. But then the round of 8 is where it gets crazy. Look, we kick things off at Vegas. If Toyota's able to do at Las Vegas what they did at Kansas except win, well, that takes away an opportunity for a Chevy. Now we've got Talladega Superspeedway, which is a great opportunity for them, and we have Martinsville. But still, every possibility is out there. I would like to see all 3 manufacturers represented, but sometimes it's also kind of fun to see some dominance and see how teammates are going to line up for each other in a championship round.
By the way, I know a lot of people put stock in this, so we'll hit up on it. Was this a good race poll by Jeff Gluck? Have you guys looked at it yet?
I have not.
Have you seen it? All right, give me where
I
you
haven't yet
think
voted yes for the week.
Where do you think it fell out percentage-wise?
So
good versus bad, without knowing the results.
Okay, so I don't know. So I'm going to say it should have flushed out as bad. With a great finish, and that's where we screw up. There's not that other category because you see a lot of so races that just have great finishes, and everybody wants to say that was a great race. What a great race, man! I was in the concession stand for 2/3 of that race. I just happened to come back for the green white checkered. So I'm going to say maybe. Listen, I'm going to say 70% said it was a good race.
All right, Alexis?
I'm going to go a little bit higher because I think people's memories are short, and I think they're going to think only of those last overtime laps. I'm going to say 80.
80%. Yep. What did you say, 70?
I said 70.
70? Brad Gilley?
I'll say over 90. He's NASCAR's most popular driver, and I was thinking about this morning. This is why I'm not a fan of this poll, because you take a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and we know one, all right? And if I said, if the Dallas Cowboys beat the Eagles and it's 25-3, was it a good game? The Eagles fan's going to say no. Okay, if the Dallas Cowboys beat the Eagles and they had a 50-yard drive with less than a minute to go, was it a good game? No. If the Cowboys beat the Eagles, was it a good game? No. The opposite would hold true with that Eagles fan if they won, regardless of how it happened.
Exactly.
There's no science to it whatsoever, so to me, it has no relevance.
Brad is money. 92%. When I last looked on the Jeff Gluck, was this a good race poll? And I would say 20% of that, if you're like weighing test scores, is because of who won.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Joey Logano wins this race. It's not 92%.
In the same exact way.
Yeah.
Right. If he won it in the same exact way, but it was just a different, Yeah.
So it bears a lot to who is winning races. Let's give you a Toyota performance report here. Toyota performed well. They didn't get the win yesterday, but they did perform well at Kansas. Denny Hamlin was second, Christopher Bell third. Fourth was Chase Briscoe, and fifth was Bubba Wallace. So 4 of the top 5 were Toyotas. And then Tyler Reddick snuck in there in 7th. So they had 5 of the top 10 finishers at Kansas. And that is our Toyota performance report. Coming up, we're going to be talking about teammates and team wins and losses next.
This is a Camry. This is a Camry on NASCAR. This is a Camry on NASCAR with Ty Gibbs behind the wheel. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
When it comes to maintaining your engine to run at peak performance, trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Z-Max soaks into metal, so it's easy to add to your oil or gas to disperse carbon buildup in your engine, fuel system, and transmission. Protect your vehicle's engine to the max with Z-Max. Check us out at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter to find out more about our full line of products. Remember the name Z-Max for your car, big rig, small engines, firearms, and more. That's Z-Max Micro Lubricant.
This is Daniel Suarez, and you're listening to the PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, this is Brett McMillan. Join me each week for the True Reporters Roundtable, known as the Pit Reporters.
This is not what we're used to and accustomed to seeing. That, I think, with a backdrop, is why a lot of fans are a bit sour on Denny.
He still wants to play that role that now Denny has taken on, but him and the A-car haven't had the same success. You can't be the villain, and it doesn't really work as well if you're not winning, and Denny Hamlin is doing just that.
Check us out each week on the Performance Racing Network.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 Americans are sick of the divisions in our country? But there's one small step we can take to remember that we're still connected. All over America, strangers with different political views are coming together to talk about their lives, not politics, and discovering they actually have a lot in common. Because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk, heart to heart. So let's talk, for a change. Learn more at takeonesmallstep.org.
Race at Kansas. Let's give them their due. The Hollywood Casino 400, presented by ESPN Bet. So, there's a lot of gambling going on there. You got casinos and ESPN betting and everything. By the way, if you didn't realize it now, sports wagering is legal pretty much everywhere. So, and it's
and you know what? That really takes the fun out of it.
Because you don't get to go visit the guy down in the corner.
Yeah, not the wagering, the legality of it.
Yeah, the legality of it takes the fun out of it.
Everybody used to have, like, we've talked about before. You had the guy. You had your guy.
That's right.
You'd meet your guy down on the corner. You'd give him 20 and say, I'll take the Chiefs.
That's right. That's right.
None of that anymore. It's all on your phone.
I can just pick up my phone and lose my life savings. Where's the fun in that? Sorry, I digress. Let's go back and talk about this race and the finish of it. Went into a couple of overtimes. It looked for a while like Bubba Wallace might come on and get the win. Then he and his car owner, Denny Hamlin, trade a little paint. They slide up the racetrack. And the next thing you know, here comes Chase Elliott. And Chase Elliott comes on and snatches the win away. Let's hear from dejected Denny.
Want to move on to the next round. I want to win 60. This is the first track I got my very first start. Just everything. I mean, I wanted it as bad as anyone. I wanted it so bad. I had to drive that last run without power steering, and that was difficult to say the least. And just one spot short.
So, Brad Gilly, where is Denny Hamlin's mindset right now? He raced his driver very, very hard and effectively cost him any chance at winning the race. I'm not debating about whether he should or not, and doesn't get number 60. So where is his head going into the Roval?
You know, and gosh, so many different things are going on looking into this. I think his head going into the Roval is, I've collected enough points during this round that I'm likely going to advance points-wise. Now, how that works out for him on Sunday at the Roval remains to be seen. But he doesn't have to push it. They don't have to do any alternate strategy. They just have to make sure they don't wreck. And I think that's a very doable thing. Going into the next round, again, I'm sure there's going to be talk about how you race teammates, how you don't. This is a vastly different situation than what happened in New Hampshire the week prior. And there are a lot of distractions going on right now. Still, they're able to collect a lot of points, though.
Kyle Petty, you're in the moment. He's trying to win the race. We've heard this drumbeat of trying to win race number 60. And I guess the macro play, the bigger picture play here would have been, you know what? I can't drive my car right. The power steering's out. My guy's going to win the race, meaning Bubba Wallace. I'll take second. I'm going to make the playoffs. He gets into the playoffs, and all is well. But the micro view here is I want to win this race, and I want to win number 60. And if I have to put my driver up into the fence, so be it.
Yeah, and we were talking about it here before, and that's a great point, and Lexus brought it up. It is, and Brad did too. It's vastly different than New Hampshire. Okay, but the common denominator in both incidents is Denny Hamlin. He is the common denominator. He's the one on the radio up there screaming that doesn't Ty know what's on the line for us, for me?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Ty, I need to get up here. I'm running for a championship. Denny, in this case, was I'm trying to win the race. And that's what I like about it. Honest to gosh, that's what I like about it. Denny puts himself first over the Gibbs team. Denny puts himself over 2311. Denny puts himself over every driver out there. And I've said it before, I believe to be a championship driver and a winning driver and to win at this level, you've got to do that. You just got to be greedy. You've just got to put it all and throw it all out there. And I do like that part of it. At the same time, you look at it and you think, man, what if? Because Bubba went from winning the race and moving into the round of 8 to gaining 1 point on the day because he just had a terrible day as far as stage points and stuff. But it was fascinating to watch those last laps play out. Everybody that got to each other, as Bubba got to the 20 car, he runs him high and up towards the wall enough for him to check up. That puts Denny in the race. Denny runs Bubba up high, and he checks up. Denny has a shot at it, and the 9 car just doors him and moves on. So, we saw 3 or 4 guys just run over each other the last lap, basically, and not show any type of racing skill per se. It was more, let me get you out of the way and move on.
Is there any difference in the fact that how things played out this past weekend at Kansas involved all playoff drivers? And in New Hampshire, so it's like Denny Hamlin's looking at it. They're all looking at it on the last lap like, it's all about me.
Yeah, but it's all about me.
Right.
That's right. But that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And I think what Denny showed was, and his comments at New Hampshire and here, is it's all about me, and I don't care whether you're a playoff driver or not. That may be my excuse. That may be how I'm opening the door to say that he's not a playoff driver. He needs to let me by. But at the same time, Denny looks at every playoff driver out there and says, I need to get by this guy. You need to let me by. I'm better than you. And he had a great car yesterday, man.
He really did.
He had the place, and that makes it twice as frustrating. We've sat here before and talked about that with different drivers. It makes it twice as, I hit the table again. It makes it twice as frustrating when you know that was your win. And Denny's looking at that one, and he said it right there. That was my 60. That was my 60th. This is where I started, and that hit 60 is playing in his head.
And he did not, to my knowledge, at least in any of his post-race comments, throw his team under the bus when it comes to that final pit stop. But you got to think that when you come in as the leader and you come out 7th, you're going to be seeing red at that point. I mean, right? Like, how does that feel as a driver to know that you raced all race long and you're you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know. Listen, I never passed anybody, but yeah, no, it is the most aggravating thing. I will say this: as a driver, no matter where you run, whether you're running for the lead or whether you're racing the same 6 cars for 20th position, when you work your way through that and you get to that 20th position and you pit and you come back out in 26 behind those 6 guys, you worked a whole stage to get by. It's the most frustrating thing in the world.
So I got to think that it's like when you're taking a long road trip, right? And there's this one car that is like, it's bugging you and you're like, I got to get around this guy. Then you get around him. Then you go to a rest stop and you see that guy go by again. You're like, no, I worked so hard to pass him.
Yeah. Listen, that is why, honestly, and you say it in radio, we say it all the time, and you hear drivers say it. The best place to pass somebody is on pit road. Mm-hmm. That is the best place to pass somebody. And when you give those places up on pit road, it's the most frustrating place to get past.
Well, as a buddy of mine told me this week, you camp out in the woods. You don't camp in the left lane. So
there you go.
There we go. There we go.
Although some people do.
Some people do. Brad, one last thing here about Denny, and we'll move on to the drivers below the cut line. He dominated this race. He led 159 laps out of 273. What does this do to his psyche moving forward? We're running out of races, and I honestly feel like this may be the last opportunity that Denny Hamlin legitimately has a chance to win the championship. Where's his head?
I'm impressed with his ability to reset. Look, Denny's been doing this literally. October 9th will be the 20th anniversary of that first start that he had at Kansas Speedway back in 2005. And I think he has just become a better, smarter driver because of it in a lot of ways. He still makes mistakes. All of them do. There's no question about that. But I think after what happened last week at New Hampshire and having to walk into the media center and walk around all weekend long, answering the questions very vaguely about how their conversations went, and then show up on Sunday and do what they did with no power steering and all of that, that to me says that when he puts that helmet on, to Kyle's point, it's all about Denny. I thought I loved what he did yesterday. I thought it was with the utmost competitive integrity that it didn't matter who he was racing. They were racing for the win. And that was talked a lot about between last week at New Hampshire and this past week at Kansas Speedway, that it's a lot different when you're going for the win. And I think he can go to Las Vegas Motor Speedway and maybe have the same speed in that race car. I think he can, well, hopefully get through Talladega. He's not been that great at those tracks in the next-gen car. But Martinsville Speedway is another place where he's won multiple times. I do think when he puts that helmet on, he has an amazing ability to laser focus on what the goal is that day.
We'll take a look at the standings as we get ready to head into the Roval next week here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Hey, this is Michael Walter for Echo Park Automotive, and I'm here to tell you why you should shop Echo Park before you buy a car, truck, or SUV. Over half the inventory at Echo Park is priced below $25,000. And car for car, truck for truck, Echo Park Automotive's pricing is $3,000 less than the competition. Maybe that's why Echo Park has over 100,000 five-star reviews. Echo Park Automotive is built to make sure everyone drives away happy. It's even in their name, Echo Park Automotive. Every car, happy owner. The official used car dealer of Speedway Motorsports.
This is Chase Briscoe, and you're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Whether it's skating around the racetrack on a set of rollerblades or turning laps in a Legends car, join JC Fickenshire on JC's Garage.
All it takes is one win, and that one win can completely clear the driver's mind. I could even see it happening if Todd Gilliland wins a race or Noah Gragson wins a race, Zane Smith wins a race. These guys are guys who are just searching for one win, one chance.
JC's Garage, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Hey, it's Charlie and Debbie, along with NASCAR legend Kyle Petty, inviting you to join us for Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown.
Each week, we'll put it in reverse and take a trip down memory lane, looking back at that week's top 20 country songs from years past.
We'll dive into what made those songs and artists move the needle, what pop culture trends made those years unique.
And you'll get to hear me tell stories only I can tell.
So don't miss Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown right here each week.
Fast Talk here on PRN. Full house today in studio. Alexis Erickson, Kyle Petty, and remote studio, Brad Gilley. In a little bit, we'll be talking with Patrick Lindsay, the Las Vegas Motor Speedway general manager, as they are getting ready to host the South Point 400 coming up shortly. Let's take a look at the NASCAR playoff points, which are different than the NASCAR points. I know everybody is talking about how we determine the champion. I don't really feel strongly one way or another, but I do feel strongly that we only need one standing.
True
Thank you.
True that.
It is mind-boggling if you have never been a fan of this sport and say, well, I think I'll start being interested in NASCAR. And you look at the point standings and you go, well, my person's doing really well. They're 7th in points. No, they're not. They're not even going to go to the playoffs.
Right.
It is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And how anyone thinks that having two completely separate point standing systems is good. I got news for you. It's not, especially if you're trying to become a fan and you've got to dissect this Rubik's Cube of points.
I mean, you're absolutely right, because I think, ease of understanding is so important to not only keeping your current fan base engaged, but gaining new fans to your sport or whatever it is that you're, trying to promote. And so I agree. I've always felt that way. And it confuses me. I mean, this is our daily lives. And sometimes I'm like, what am I looking at here?
And playoff points versus stage points versus regular season points. It is. You can get lost in the wilderness here. 40 days, or it's not enough time to get out of here. Anyway, Brad Gilley below the cutoff line. Minus 13 is Ross Chastain. Bubba Wallace, he is minus 26. And then you got Tyler Reddick and Austin Cindric. Out of those four, do you see any of them after we're done racing at the Roval this weekend advancing on in the playoffs?
I don't. Not without help. I don't think Ross Chastain is going to outpoint Joey Logano by 13 points in this race. I just don't see it. And if he can't do that, then Bubba and Tyler definitely can't do that either. And I don't see them winning, even Austin Cindric.
Alexis, what are your thoughts here? The four that are below the cut line stay there after next week?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you think about what they would have to surpass in order to get out of where they are currently, I mean, there's a chance potentially with, again, like Brad said, some help. Ross Chastain could potentially point his way in with somebody else falling out. But when you look at the other three, they're going to have to win, and that's going to be extremely hard to do with Shane Van Gisbergen in the race and with AJ Allmendinger in the race. I mean, I think this is the one race that we all kind of have circled saying, yeah, a non-playoff driver is most likely going to win this race. You don't want to give anybody anything on Monday of the race week, but I mean, when you think about his, what he's done this year on road courses, he's got to be the favorite.
By the way,
by a long
props
shot.
to SVG.
Yeah, no kidding.
10th
Absolutely.
place at Kansas.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great showing for that team.
Great showing.
I think they're having a parade down in Auckland.
They
right
had
now.
a penalty on lap 1.
Is there a siren going
I know.
off?
Had to come down pit road on lap 1. Had to come down pit road. That was the fascinating part to me. They came back from adversity to get that win. They weren't just there.
Producer Tony pointed out to me today, said, he ran pretty well at New Hampshire till they had problems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is there
a couple of decent races?
Do we smell what he's got cooking?
I don't, that's a great question, because it's like at this point in time in the year, it's too little, too late. Because he needed that in the first round to get to this round. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you are seeing an improvement in what he's doing on the racetrack and what the team itself is doing in keeping him up at the front of the pack.
Especially going back to some of these racetracks for the second time, where the first time they might have been completely lost, but now they're coming back and they're like, oh, okay, well, we got a little bit of a handle on it.
I think obviously he will be the player to beat. By the way, I was channel surfing, and USA's gotten beat up a lot because people say, well, the races are really not on NBC, they're on USA Network. Yeah. And I just randomly thought, okay, I'm going to see what's on USA right now, hoping I was going to score some Mariska Hargitay, I didn't get it, but I'm going to admit it, and I feel kind of bad about this. WWE SmackDown was on.
Oh, yeah.
90 minutes later. I changed.
Wow.
Oh, sucked right into the storyline.
But
that's it.
Kyle, that's the thing. When my wife and I were first dating, we would sit in the lobby of her dorm at Appalachian and watch wrestling on Saturday night, because that's all it was on. Like 2 channels. So we'd be there in the lobby. It's the same story.
Oh, it's the same storylines.
It is. These athletes are cut, and the women are sexy, and the histrionics are a little more hysterical, but it's exactly the same story. And I get it. I get
if it's
why
not
people
broke,
are
don't fix it.
And the people are going nuts.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was anybody I think they were in Orlando that's going like, well, this is real, but they don't care.
Yeah.
Come in there and suspend belief for an hour or so.
Yeah,
I just like that you got sucked in for 90 minutes.
I know.
I looked up, I thought, I've been watching this for an hour and a half.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Ended up losing IQ points, but it was great. All right, coming up, Patrick Lindsay. He used to work in the world of golf. Golf was crazy this past weekend, too. Those are my people.
The golf people?
The golf people at the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah. At Ryder Cup, golf fans are crazy.
They're up there pounding
awesome.
beers and yelling at people. I love that. All right, we'll talk with Patrick Lindsay. He's not in the world of golf, but we'll get his thoughts on that, too, coming up next. Make your plans now to stay at the South Point Hotel Casino and Spa when NASCAR returns to Las Vegas. They have great race ticket and room packages for you to choose from. The South Point also features a wide variety of excellent dining options at 11 different restaurants. Or you can enjoy the 16-screen movie complex and visit the 64-lane bowling center. Visit southpointcasino.com and make your reservations today. Stay where the racers stay at the South Point Hotel Casino and Spa.
We work hard to keep our cars looking great on the outside, but engine components need our attention too. That's where you can trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant to disperse carbon buildup in your engine and fuel system to keep your car or truck running at its peak. By soaking into the metal of your engine, Z-Max Micro Lubricant improves performance, extends engine life, and reduces emissions. Trust the many customers who've said, "Thanks for saving my engine." Find out more at zmax.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
This is Ross Chastain, and you're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
NASCAR heads to Charlotte and the Roval.
The green flag is out. Van Gisbergen gets a big jump with Joey Logano in tow.
Austin Cindric has turned around, and Tyler Reddick got stuck behind him as the caution has come out.
A.J. Allmendinger takes a shot to the outside. It's a three-way battle off of turn number 14.
It's a victorious day for Kyle Larson. He will advance to the round of 8.
The Bank of America Roval 400, Sunday, October 5th at 2 Eastern on PRN.
The battle of the Kaulig teammates up and down the hill into turn number 6 as Sam Mayer's still out front. He's going to have to serve a penalty. This is the real battle for the lead.
Up front, dogging the back bumper of SVG, A.J. Allmendinger chases him across the start-finish line and back to turn number 1.
Contact is love. This is the corner. They gather it up. Now to turn 7. Will Hill pay back the favor?
It's the Drive for the Cure 250 presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. Saturday, October 4th at 4:30 Eastern on PRN.
All right, coming up this weekend, it's the Roval at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And after that, we'll all pack up and head out to Las Vegas, Nevada, and watch the South Point 400, a key race in setting the stage for the NASCAR Championship. Joining us right now is Patrick Lindsay. He's the general manager out at LVMS. And Patrick, first off, thanks a lot for making time to come on with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me this morning.
Can I throw you one curveball before we get started? I'm not trying to back you off the plate here. It's not tough. Your background and doing a little bit of research, you're from the world of the PGA, professional golf.
That's correct.
Why are we so attracted to watching the Ryder Cup with 10,000 drunk fans screaming at everybody? Why does that get Americans excited? And, the U.S. lost in the end, by the way.
That's a really great question. I don't know if I have the answer to that or not, but I didn't really watch much on Sunday because it wasn't very favorable to the U.S. team, so I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention.
But it's amazing how that grabs everybody's attention, Kyle.
Yeah. So coming back to Vegas, and we saw a great race there the first time with Josh Berry. And as we come into this race, what makes this race at this time? And I know it's in the playoffs. But what do you guys do different? What makes this race a must-see? Because, I was talking to people at a convention in Florida on Saturday, and they're coming to Vegas. They're coming out of Florida to Vegas, so this is a big deal.
Well, there's no better time to be in Vegas than, the first, second week in October. I mean, it's perfect weather. I think we're going to be high 70s, low 80s. It's going to be incredible. We got the bright lights of the Strip, right, that we're all familiar with and that we love. That is such a magnet to all the sports. Las Vegas is now considered sports entertainment capital of the world, and we feel like we're right in the middle of that, especially now with this playoff race and Michael Gaughan and our friends at the South Point and the South Point 400s helping us put this on. And I think we're just poised to have a really great weekend. We got some great fan experiences for everyone to come out and enjoy, starting on Friday when we're open to the public in our fan area for free. South Point's coming out and bringing some Clydesdales, and we're going to have a really great time.
Patrick, several weeks ago, Brad Gilly and I got to talk to all of the playoff drivers, and it was a resounding collective from everybody saying that Las Vegas was the most important race in the playoffs. And the reason why being because if you win Las Vegas, you don't have to worry about those other two races and you go straight to Phoenix. Do the fans feel that? Do the fans know the importance of this race?
Yeah, I think so. Being one of the first ones of the 8, I think they understand how important that is as they get through the final 2 of the 8 before they get to the championship race. I think the fans feel that, but our fans they're so passionate, right? I think they know what's going on every step of the way. And as we get closer and closer to the end, I think they understand how important each race ends up being. But we're just excited to host all the drivers, host the teams, host the fans. It's really going to be a great weekend.
All right, so I'm curious. A lot of times we talk about the racing, we talk about all of these, but as Doug had mentioned, you came from the world of golf. You're new to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but definitely not new to Las Vegas. Everywhere we go is a destination, and I know we're going to have a lot of fun in the South Point Hotel and Casino. But since you've come over to this side, what is it that you might tell a new fan about your experience now as the GM of Las Vegas Motor Speedway, of why NASCAR is cool and why what you're doing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway is a good time for a sports fan?
It's that need for speed, right? We all have it. Even my background in golf, where it might be a little slower and subdued, coming over to the high-powered motorsports and seeing these guys, go around 200 miles an hour around the track. There's nothing really more exciting. That roar of the cars as they go around is pretty incredible. And then we have our neighbors of Nellis Air Force Base in the backstretch constantly doing flyovers all the time as well. So the weekend's really truly going to be great. But it's an event in Las Vegas, and really it's for everybody. There's nothing that we don't do that's going to not attract someone. I mean, it can be anything you want it to be, is kind of what I've been telling people. And it was the same with golf. This is an event. If you love events, if you love just being out and enjoying an event, this is a great one to be. We have stuff for the family. We have stuff for the person who wants some high-end hospitality. We have something for the passionate fan as well, who just wants to watch the race. So really, we can provide anything that you're looking for. Just come out and give us a shot, and come out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway and have a great time.
Our guest is Patrick Lindsay. He is, of course, the general manager of Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And Patrick, you alluded to this. If you come to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's a double dip. You don't just get the racing on the 1.5 miles. You also get a free air show with the great location you guys have backed up against Nellis Air Force Base.
Yeah, it's awesome. They are truly just incredible neighbors. They remind us that sound of freedom every day as they're doing their trainings, as they're taking off. I mean, their airstrip is literally right behind us, and it's so impressive to see. We were able to have the Thunderbirds for our flyover for the Pennzoil 400, and we've got the A-10s doing a flyover for the South Point 400, and that aircraft is very, very near and dear to Michael Gaughan's heart as a kind of honorary chairman, commander for that division. So we're really excited to have the A-10s fly over, but it is every day. They are buzzing my office, the tower, every day, and it's so cool to see, and just really blessed that they're right there for us.
Well, Patrick, we appreciate it. Tell folks how they can score tickets if they haven't already. Shame on you. You should go ahead and show up out there? How can folks attend the South Point 400 and all the festivities this weekend?
Yeah, lvms.com. Really easy. Go on there and get some tickets. We got some great deals right now. Have a lot of great activities for the kids in our kid zone and the Fan Fest area. It's really going to be a great weekend. But there's still tickets available, still hotel rooms available in the on the Strip as well. So no excuse but to just come out. We also have some camping still available as well. Just very limited on that stuff, but please come out and enjoy. It's really going to be a great weekend, and we're really excited to crown the champion of the South Point 400.
Well, it feels like over the years the place has put on an increasingly exciting show each and every time. PRN will be out there to call the action. I will actually be out there in the PA booth. How about that?
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you.
Little firsthand. Patrick, thanks a lot. We appreciate you being here, and good luck here in a little bit less than 2 weeks for the South Point 400.
Appreciate you guys very much. We'll see you guys soon.
Patrick Lindsay, General Manager of Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where Performance Racing Network will have all the action coming up in about a week and a half from right now. Time out, and then back with Green Flag, Black Flag.
Are you looking for the cheapest prices on car insurance? Then call the Cheap Car Insurance Hotline right now. Hey, you're guaranteed to save money on your car insurance. Most car insurances can be canceled at any time. That means if you find a better deal, you can switch right away. We're not just one company. We offer most of the major brands of car insurance. We're like a discount supermarket for car insurance. And it doesn't matter if you have a good record or a bad driving record. Our agents are experts at finding you the right car insurance for your needs. Our average customer saves hundreds of dollars a year when they call us to switch. So why don't you make this 100% free call right now and see how much you can save on your car insurance?
800-419-1971. 800-419-1971. 800-419-1971. That's 800-419-1971.
I'm Chase Elliott, and you're listening to Fast Talk on the Performance Racing Network.
Get your NASCAR fix with PRN's Garage Pass.
It's hard to just turn it around in 1 week, but I wouldn't be shocked if we did.
I don't think the results have been what we have hoped for or expected, but I think the potential in the cars and the speed has been pretty good.
You know, it's a big deal already, so that's a big positive for us. So I think now it's just about working together and getting better.
I think the Penske cars are still elite when it comes to plate racing.
Hi, I'm Mark Garrow, tracking the latest racing news every weekday.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
By the way, if you had the opportunity, you should visit the folks at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. In terms of getting in and out of the place, it's one of the easier racetracks now. It used to be kind of nightmarish, but they built this brand new, huge, monstrous interstate that runs right in front of the place. You can get into it, off of it, and you're in Las Vegas. So what can go wrong?
Fabulous Las Vegas.
Fabulous.
That's right.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Whatever you do, if you're from out of state,
don't say Nevada.
Don't say Nevada.
Nevada.
Oh, they'll show you the door.
Nevada.
Yeah, that's just
true.
wrong.
It's like water and water, you know?
What was that?
Water and water.
Water and water.
Yeah, you never heard that.
Well, it's like coming here and calling it Appalachian State.
Yeah, that's it. Appalachian.
We'll revoke.
That one cut close.
We'll revoke your passport for that. All right, let's move over to this.
It's time for another edition of Green Flag, Black Flag.
All right, voted the #1 NASCAR-themed game show by the Ansonville Civitan Club at last week's meeting.
Nice.
They got around to that.
Oh, yeah.
I read some carefully prepared and worded statements here. Our panel mulls them over. If they like what I say and they agree with it, it gets a green flag. If they disagree, simple as that. Let's go to Alexis Erickson first up. Tyler Reddick is the only driver in the bottom four with a legit chance to win the Roval.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go black flag on that. Tyler Reddick, I think, is in the bottom four the best road course racer out of those four drivers. But I just don't think that he's good enough or has been good enough on road courses lately to, kick SVG or AJ Allmendinger out of that spot. So, black flag.
Very good. Brad Gilley.
Black flag. I mean, I'd love to give it to Chastain because it would be cool to have a Charlotte Motor Speedway sweep after he won the Coca-Cola 600, but with no disrespect, none of those bottom four are doing it.
Is that why you want to give it to Chastain?
Yeah.
Or is it because of who your wife is?
Oh, no, I think it'd be a cool storyline.
Doug Rice.
Brad's wife loves Ross Chastain.
She likes Kyle Petty, too, but he's not in the race.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to go black flag, but what I really want to see, my evil side wants to see, is like Tyler Reddick's ready to win the Roval, and Denny comes out and moves him out of the way.
Oh, man.
I like Evil Doug's version.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, Evil's Doug version would be a great movie. I'm going to say black flag, too. Black flag, too. All the reasons have been are above.
Very good. All right. Let's go to...
Hey.
What?
That was unanimous. Did we not get the song?
I'm sorry. No, I don't have that.
Oh!
No, I'm not playing.
I'm going to start banging on the desk.
Oh, hold on. I can do it. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
David
All right,
took
we've
that with him.
isolated that, and that'll be the new one.
Yeah, that's it.
Very good. All right. Let's go to Brad Gilley. SVG wins the Roval by 5 seconds or more.
Black flag. I'm not ready to give Shane Van Gisbergen the trophy at all. I know you can easily make a case for why he was the pre-race favorite, and he is. But it is still a race, not a fast car, fast driver contest.
Doug Rice.
Green flag, easily. I'm going out and buy a rugby ball. We'll have it in the studio so he can autograph it Sunday when he comes in for his post-race interview.
Good idea.
Oh, Doug just jinxed it.
Yeah. Very good. There it went.
Yes,
Yeah.
And that'll be available on eBay by
Kyle Petty.
I'm gonna give it black flag. I think there's other guys that this is different. We're in the playoffs. Everybody ups their game a little bit. I think it's different.
Alexis.
Green flag.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I just think, he just is the best. At this point right now, I think he is the best on road courses, and I think he's going to show us why on Sunday.
Let's just go ahead and do as soon as this is over, let's do next week's show
Let's
now.
do it.
Let's just do it. Give him just put it in the bag.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Doug Rice, let's try this one. We will not have a repeat playoff winner until the championship round.
not have a repeat
playoff winner
until we get to Phoenix. Is that what that means?
No.
Yeah.
This is such a well-written question. This is such a well-written question. Let me go ahead and say that.
All right.
We will not have a repeat winner in the playoffs until we get to the last race. Green flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm down with that. Yeah. Because SVG's already won the Roval, so that's a different winner.
Denny was going to win yesterday. That would have been a repeat.
Would have been.
There is no coulda, woulda, shoulda. Either you did or you didn't. He didn't.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Don't feed the
bulldog.
bulldog.
I'm gonna say black flag. I think somebody's gonna get on a little roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna say black flag because I think Blaney's gonna win Martinsville.
I think there's gonna be a roll somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Brad.
I'm going to say green flag just because I like the way Evil Doug thinks. And although maybe I shouldn't align myself with Doug after he just jinxed Shane Van Gisbergen.
That's true.
I know.
That's bad. That's bad.
I think we can do this one. Kyle Petty, this will be yours.
Oh, thank you.
Since you're good at this. Paul.
Wait a minute. What was that last week?
You were that was a real poser.
I was a poser last week. Doing real good at
what?
it. He called me a poser last week.
You're the trendsetter. Come on.
No, I called him a poser.
I said the question was a poser. Never mind. Never mind on here. Kyle, mull this over. Polls are interesting to talk about, but they mean nothing.
Polls mean nothing unless there's somebody dancing with it. Oh, did I say that?
Yes.
That is like the Fast Talk highlight for the week. That's it.
I am sorry.
That
I'm
better
sorry.
be on our YouTube snippets, baby.
I
That better
apologize.
be.
It just came up and out. So what was the question again? Something about polls.
Polls are interesting to talk about, but they mean nothing.
They mean nothing. But a green flag. Green flag on that one. I'm going to give you a green flag.
All right. How about it, Alexis?
I'm going to say black flag because they don't mean anything in the world of like points or anything like that. But you could argue against that because if you start up front, then that's you don't have to pass as many cars. You start up front.
Wait.
No,
He's
that's
not talking about.
not
He's
that
not
kind of
talking
We've
about
had
the
three
fast
different
car.
polls. We've talked about three different polls so far.
Yeah,
Okay?
talk about a well-written question
I
now.
had to beat on the desk.
Yeah.
3 different polls. That is a great question because we talked about.
We
Oh
covered
my
it
gosh.
all.
Next thing, somebody bring up barn polls.
Look,
Please, somebody bring up barn.
I was going to bring up the ones that.
So you're talking about
I'm
A
talking
poll.
about-
you're talking
Jeff
about the
Gluck.
Jeff Gluck poll.
Yes.
Like the
Yeah.
Jeff Gluck. That's right. That's right.
Alexis, you don't look
Oh
pale
my gosh,
anymore.
man! Oh, this is great. This has been a great. This is a great segment. Oh my gosh!
All right. Brad, did you ever answer the question? I don't know.
I did not, and I'll say it this way. I'll say black flag, and because they mean nothing, we shouldn't be talking about them.
Oh, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
There we go.
That's
Well,
kind of
we
what-
weren't. We were talking about
Every other
starting
poll.
on the front row.
Well, I was going to bring up fishing poles. But
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Why not? Why not?
Tug, do you?
I was going to bring up the great people from the country of
Poland.
Well,
they
they're
mean
interesting.
something, by the way. They do mean
Oh
something.
my gosh! Oh my gosh!
You know that writer has now been fired. Okay.
No, polls are worthless.
Yeah, there we go.
If you depended on polls of people to elect folks, nobody would ever serve. So no, that's bad.
That's it.
I think.
All right. Simple as that. Doug, back
Are
to you.
we done?
Yeah,
You know,
I think
all,
we're done.
all I can do now after Kyle dropped the stripper pole thing is think, now
just-
on the
he
main
just said dancing.
stage, here's Xena, Warrior
Oh
Princess.
my gosh!
All
Oh my
right.
gosh!
Need a little AC/DC playing in the background. All right, let's take a break. We'll come right back with one last thing.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
You've only got so many weekends. Spend one doing something nobody saw coming. Is it a party, a festival, a race? It's all of that, and all at once. Concerts, tailgating, unbelievable action, 100 reasons to say this is actually awesome. It's fast, it's wild. It's the cutoff race in NASCAR's playoffs, the Wild Card Weekend. The Bank of America Roval 400, Sunday, October 5th. Get tickets at charlottemotorspeedway.com.
I'm Eric Jones, and you're listening to Fast Talk on the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, this is Brett McMillan. The opinions fly fast and furious each week on the Pit Reporters.
Every other major league sport has a playoff system, so I think the playoff system should stay. I do think there's maybe slight middle ground where there could be some changes that are made.
I do remember seasons where this championship had been decided well before the last few races, so it just isn't quite the same vibe that we have now.
Join us each week for the Pit Reporters.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Once again, we appreciate Patrick Lindsay, General Manager out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, for coming on with us. Of course, last week we talked with Scott Cooper, who is the head of public relations for Speedway Motorsports and Charlotte Motor Speedway. They'll be racing at the Roval this weekend. If you have never tried the Roval on for size, you might want to give it a shot. I find it extremely entertaining because there's literally something happening at every corner of the racetrack. Now let's niftily segue over to this.
One last thing.
And as the title would suggest, one last thing from each of our panelists can be on or about racing or wherever you want to go. Brad Gilley.
All right, well, I will say, if Fast Talk had to follow the NASCAR rule book, we would each be penalized 2 laps and 2 races because the wheels have definitely fallen off of this show. But that's a good thing in a fun way, and I like to live my life by I get to decide what my mood is when I wake up every day, so we're going to have fun, and that should be how we all live every day. My personal opinion, I know I'm going to have a great time.
Well, there you go. That does make you feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about someone who has come in to help us. You know, you guys always see us and hear us every week on the show. Obviously, we have the people behind the glass that do so much to get the show on. David Stiles, who's normally our producer, is on paternity leave, and Tony Stevens has come in and done a fabulous job. So thank you so much, Tony, for everything you've done for us these last few weeks. We are excited to get David back because we have missed him, but you have been a pleasure to work with. So thank you so much.
Bravo, bravo. Well done.
All right, my one last thing is I rewatched the race again this morning, and some watched post race, and I want to see if we took all the drivers from Chase Elliott to Denny Hamlin to Bubba Wallace to Tyler Reddick, the first 4 or 5 that were really interviewed and post race. When did monotone become the way that drivers should speak? I want to hear some excitement. I want to hear some disappointment because you got your butt kicked. I want to hear some disappointment because there were mistakes made. I want to hear some excitement. We hear more excitement from the kid that's at the concession stand because they got nachos and they're not out of cheese than we do when a guy wins a cup race. When a guy wins a cup race. When did that happen? When did these drivers lose that 5-year-old that always wanted to be a race car driver, that always wanted to win, that always wanted to be there? I want to get this corporate driver speak out of the way and give me a 5-year-old and let him show us how to win a cup race and what excitement is, because we don't see that enough in this sport.
Bravo, you shouldn't sound like
Love
a dial tone. By the way, speaking of 5-year-olds, when the car flipped that Zane Smith was driving yesterday and it rolled over on the bottom, it looks like a Hot Wheels.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It does.
It
That's
does.
pretty good.
Go dig around in your kids' room and find their Hot Wheels and turn it over
Great
and
point.
compare it to the shot. By the way, Zane Smith was fine. Made for some incredible video. I'm going to put Evil Doug in the closet for a minute here. And my one last thing today, and this just sounds a little schmaltzy, but do one nice thing for somebody every day for the rest of your life. The world is surrounded by things that are unpleasant and unfriendly. We can complain about that, or we can actually do something about it. Can you change the big picture and do away with wars and famine and pestilence? Probably not. But you can make one person's day just a little bit better by doing one thing. Text them, hey, how you doing? I've been thinking about you. Call your sister you haven't chatted with in a long time. Do one positive thing. Go help somebody that you know that needs it, if it's just even helping move their furniture around. We all have that capability, no matter where we are in our station in life, to do one thing to improve the situation for somebody that we know about. And just think of how powerful that would be if everybody took that on every day they got up. I'm going to do one thing, tiny as it might be, to impact somebody else's world positively. Could be a real game changer. All right, let's whip around the panel here. We're oversized today. Brad Gilley, when we're doing our interviews this Sunday here at Charlotte, who are we going to be talking to from winning the Roval?
William Byron.
Ooh.
I just pulled that out of thin air because
That's
I'm not
a good
going to
one.
give the trophy to Shane Van Gisbergen.
That's a good
Willie B.
I'm giving the trophy to Shane Gisbergen.
Yeah.
I believe he will be sitting down here with me and you a couple hours after the Roval.
He's tall, too, isn't he?
He's very tall.
I'm going to say Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney.
I'm going
All
back
right.
to him.
Well, he won the first Roval. Let's see if he can win number 7. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. Echo what Alexis said earlier. Tony Stevens, thanks a lot. Great job here subbing for David Stiles. Kent Bernhardt behind the glass. I'm Doug Rice. Do one nice thing for somebody today, and we'll be back next week with a whole bunch more Fast Talk.
Fast Talk was presented by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco Fuel helps your car reach peak performance. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.